Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Raghee Horner. I'm a trader and an author with just about 20 years experience in futures, Forex, and stocks. I'm here to share some ideas with you today. Before we get started though, I have to mention our Forex disclaimer, and that is this, and please pay attention. Trading in the off-exchange retail foreign currency market is one of the riskiest forms of investment available in the financial markets and suitable for sophisticated individuals and institutions. The possibility exists that you could sustain a substantial loss of funds, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Nothing in this presentation is a recommendation to buy or sell currencies, and Raghee Horner, myself, is not liable for any loss or damage, including without limitation, any loss of profit which may arise directly or indirectly from the use of Raghee Horner's tools or reliance on such information. All right, so we are here to discuss powerful and popular indicators. The MACD histogram, instrument monitor, the IBFX daily pivots, as well as the IBFX CPR, the candlestick pattern recognition. For those of you that are not already familiar with these tools, you can find them at the IBFX website. I'll show you where in a moment. And for those of you that, I'm probably not going to get into a lot of detail about the actual installation of these tools, only because the more I take a look at the amount of data that I want to cover, I definitely want to make sure we talk about the mechanics of these tools and how you can begin to implement them in your trading analysis. And of course, you can get assistance on downloading them. They are relatively straightforward, and I believe most of them have self-installers. So forgive me, but I think we're going to avoid a little bit of the tech side of it today. But of course, there are people on staff to assist you if you are having issues with getting these studies on your platform. I want to focus on the platform tonight. We've got about an hour to do it, okay? We might run a little bit over. Please feel free to type in your questions. Again, our topic today will be the powerful and popular indicators, the MACD histogram, which is also known as the MACD traditional at the IBFX.com website, the instrument monitor, the IBFX daily pivots, as well as the IBFX candlestick pattern recognition. So really excited for tonight's session. So if you have never taken a look at the tools that are available to you, before we get too ahead of ourselves here, let's go ahead and look at that very quickly. If you do head on over to IBFX.com, you'll notice that there is a drop-down menu for tools, and you can go to trading tools or popular tools, whichever one you'd like. You'll see different assortments at either one. Obviously, the trading tools is the more complete list, and the popular tools lets you know what are, well, popular tools. And if you click on the link, you'll be able to take a look at many of the indicators that we are going to be talking about today. Okay, so let's get on back over to the platform, since that's where our focus will be. This is, of course, the IBFX4 platform, and I've got 6 charts set up on this screen right now, and you'll notice I believe all but one of them actually has a 200 period simple moving average. That was just something I believe that was included in one of the templates. By the way, if you are brand new to the platform, we did do a fairly thorough presentation of tips and tricks and setups of the platform, how to set up charts and create templates and profiles and so forth, and a tour of the different areas of this platform. I don't mind touching lightly upon that, but again, due to how much we're going to cover today, we're going to move through these tools and hopefully begin that discussion of how you can implement some of these powerful tools, these plugins, into your daily analysis. Again, my name is Raghee Horner, and thank you for joining me. We're going to go ahead and start off with the first tool on my list here, and that is the MACD histogram. Now, let's backtrack for a moment so we're all on the same page and have a quick primer on what exactly this tool is. Let me mention what I'm going to share with you are my opinions. Obviously, we don't all interpret or utilize these indicators in the same manner. Indicators, in my opinion, are all lagging because they require some sort of price to calculate them, whether it be a combination of open, high, low, close, or just the closes, or just the highs. It requires price to print first, and then a calculation comes afterwards, depending upon what the indicator is. So I treat all indicators as lagging, which is not to say they're not powerful, because I do want them to reflect a certain accumulation of sentiment that the market is experiencing, is reflecting. And therefore, I, with just my eyes, may not be able to see that build up or the diminishing of a certain sentiment or of a certain psychology, but an indicator in a very mechanical and a very unemotional way can, and that's what we're looking to utilize. Also, I'd like to mention that the way I utilize indicators is very similar to the way I utilize any study. To me, indicators, price action, chart patterns, candlestick patterns, even certain price levels themselves are basically support and resistance. So as long as you understand that at the very base of everything you do in terms of your analysis, really it boils down to support and resistance. It boils down to the way that the market is expressing where there may be a little ceiling or floor, where there might be buying pressure, selling or buying support or selling pressure. So that's the way I'll look at any indicator. That's exactly the way I'll look at price itself. Okay? All right, so a primer on the MACD. Well, in terms of what the MACD does for me, and what I'll teach you tonight, is essentially a short-term momentum indicator. In my mind, the best utilization of the MACD histogram, and again, you can see that on the ibfx.com website, there is a download called the MACD Traditional. And what it does is it displays the difference between the 12 period and the 26 period EMA, which is an exponential moving average. Okay, and it displays the histogram, which are the bars. Let's go ahead and take a look at what a histogram would look like on your chart. I'm going to go ahead and activate the MACD here. So just bear with me. In fact, I might have to actually install it myself. I think I did want to actually show you how to do that, so we might end up doing that regardless. So what happens when you have an MACD traditional running on your platform is essentially you're utilizing a short-term momentum tool. One of the biggest challenges I think a lot of traders face is that they utilize certain tools, but they don't necessarily understand the underlying market environment for which they are actually designed for or actually work best within. Let's use a simple example. Moving averages, I think everybody's fairly familiar with a moving average, whether it be exponential or simple. Moving averages are great in identifying support and resistance, most especially when the market is trending. So think trending, uptrending cycles, downtrending cycles. If you are looking at a market that is moving sideways, moving within an established range, a floor or ceiling, indicators like a stochastic or like the MACD MACD, which is moving average convergence divergence, is a very powerful tool, again, in a sideways market. So I think one of the first things you should